had their built outfits for the trip. We were delayed and both missed the train. So the minister and her mother missed the train. Maybe, she said, I would not eat nothing around if I had gone on the trip. My steps then were defined before them by a merciful God. It is for this reason that the kendal tragedy resonates with me on a very personal level. The kendal tragedy is forever etched in our collective memory. Indeed, the very name kendal evokes a sense of deep sadness and even pain. Author Beverly Lewis wrote a fictional account of the tragedy in a 2013 book, The Reaper of the Souls. And many oral histories and even ghost stories about it, which speak to various aspects of the tragedy. Some may say that the kendal train crash was called Titanic and were lost, though less in numbers was our Titanic, and all of us, though less in numbers, reverberated through each and every household in Jamaica. Such an event, and you need to learn from it and to honor those who were lost, demands for collective ritualization and reflection. As minister with responsibility for culture, I have undertaken several initiatives to ensure that this is realized. My ministry is committed to erecting a monument at the crash site, and has already entered into negotiations with the Jamaica Railway Corporation, which has provided a letter of no objection to this initiative, so the partnership has started the process. Additionally, Bauxite and Aluminum Company in Dalton, on whose land the crash occurred, has granted a 20-year lease on the proposed 6.5 acres of land where the monument will be erected. Similarly, ongoing deliberations with the Manchester Municipal Council from as early as 2022 indicated that the monument would cost approximately, well, let me not say the figure. Yeah. Let me not say the figure because this is not a realistic figure to give at all. Right? It was then in 2022. And I know that what came across by this just last week was close to about $8 million that the ministry is committing to this monument. So this is a big deal for the ministry and the ministry. And the government of Jamaica, through the ministry, is putting its money where its mouth is. That figure, we know, would likely increase as well because of increasing materials and other costs. Nonetheless, the council has kindly committed that it would advance funds to erect the base of the monument on which will be affixed the names of the victims. So the partnership is underway. I want to use this opportunity to thank the JRC in downtown and the Manchester Municipal Council for their great example of private-public partnership. And I would say public-public partnership as well. We must always honor those who lost their lives, and the many families who were forever altered by the events on the rail tracks that night in 1957. Indeed, it is important for us to declare the crash site as an official site of memory, where we come to remember and pray for those who lost loved ones. To this end, I have instructed the Jamaica National Heritage Trust, an agency within my ministry, to prepare a recommendation for tabling and decorations committee of the Board of Trustees in that regard. Now that we have secured the site and a commitment to erect the monument, and we are advanced at declaring the space of an official site of memory, I also ensured that for this 67th commemoration of tragedy, the kendal crash should be formally recognized by the nation. Yes, I think we should get a round of applause for that. And this recognition comes in the form of the minister writing to the Governor General. Right, that just put that in the minister, right? The Permanent Secretary gets to review and look at the letter and we put it together. So I remember I'm saying what she said is true, as I'm a witness. So we wrote to the Governor General, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen, indicating to him that it is deemed fitting that the government and people of Jamaica create a special day with pause to remember those Jamaicans who lost their lives, those who survived but still not ill-fated land. Church, I am pleased to announce that in response to my request, the Governor General issued a proclamation as a National Day of Remembrance of the victims that survived. This proclamation, along with the JMC Declaration and the erection of the Kendal Crash Monument, form part of the suite of programs that fall under the Jamaica 60 Legacy Initiative. So the Kendal Crash is a part of the legacy, and we are determined that we will always in of our country. And this legacy project is here to celebrate this important milestone in our collective progress as a nation. To the men who perished that night, I pray eternal rest grant to them. O Lord, that perpetual light shine upon them. And to the victims, the survivors, we continue to serve with you, to cry with you, to mourn with you on this special day. Here ends the reading. My task is not finished. At this time, I'm going to ask Director Amos, can you bring the proclamation, please? I'm going to formally hand the proclamation to our customers, and I'm sure that you will know what to do with it. Because it should be resident here. As the first citizen of the parish of Manchester, it is indeed proper for you to have in your hand a proclamation, which I am sure that you will not only read here in the service, but you will also ensure that the people has this as a monument that they can always review and look at. So that we can get part of the memory of this fateful event. Even in bad things, you can come and you can learn from it. And the municipal corporation, I know, which needs the people where they are at. We believe in local government. And so we think that it's a benefit to your too, that people should benefit from. Right? So I hereby present on behalf of our ministry, on behalf of the Honourable Minister, this proclamation given by the Governor General of Jamaica. So, thank you very much.
in reality the vision and the dream that we have had here in this parish, especially through the Manchester Municipal Corporation. We have heard the pastors sharing his vision, and the same vision that we have as a committee, as the Manchester Municipal Corporation has, in terms of the railway being activated so that persons can have easy access to the crash site. The whole matter of a monument being established at the crash site, as well as creating a garden for those places. And we have also, bear in mind, children involved in our annual commemorative efforts for these anniversary celebrations. And so, certainly we have to give God thanks for the fact that our work has not been in vain. Thank you very much, Permanent Secretary, for bringing to us the good news. Let's put out there for him again. The good news of our dream becoming reality. At this time, we have Mr. Baptiste who will come now to bring greetings, and you know he has lost so many members of our family from this.
I'm going to skip all the formalities of the names already mentioned earlier, because I would like to mention the names of my family who passed at Kendal. First, it's an honor and privilege to be invited here every year to be a part of this program. But earlier this week, I sat with a young lawyer who knew nothing of the Kendal crash. Nothing. I wrote a book 17 years ago. My book came out on the 50th anniversary of the Kendal crash. And at the time, everybody was telling me, oh yes, we're going to have a monument, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. So excuse me if I'm not clapping and excited, because I've heard it all before. And I'm sorry that I'm saying this, but it has to be heard. My mother would always say, a promise is a comfort to a fool. And I stand here today with a heart, because every year I come to the program, and every year it's the same thing as this.
Politics.
The monument is not just important for us as a country, it's important as part of our history for the world. There are so many Jamaicans outside of the island who have contacted me, written to me. A day doesn't go by since I wrote the book that someone doesn't come to me and say, why hasn't the government done this? Why hasn't the government done this? Every year someone slips by. And this year we lost Sister Gita. None of you here will know who Sister Gita is. But about 8 years ago, I met her daughter. She found me online. She contacted me, said her mother was still in trauma from the Kendal crash. She wasn't on the crash, she wasn't on the train, but she became an orphan that night and spent her life in the orphanage until she married early. When I went to meet Sister Gita, the first thing she did was sing Louise Bennett's song, Lone Tango Never See. Her daughter didn't know that song because she was raised in America, but I knew that song, so I sang it with her. When I opened my book, she asked me to read from the book. And when I read a little bit from my book, she saw a picture mother. Sister Gita, I had told her there would be a monument, and she died March this year. Her daughter is still living, of course. I have an aunt who is 96, who every year asks me the same question, what about the monument there? So, if I'm not clapping, sirs, it's because I've heard the story. This year, I turned down Olivia for my book because it didn't represent the story how I lived it, not just the accident, but also. So hopefully there will be another opportunity where I can come to a program and say, not only do we have a monument, but we have a movement as well. So Sister Gita's mother, her name was Honorable, and like so many others perished on the 1st of September 1957, I would like to call the names of my family, starting with my grandmother, Veronica East, Peter East, Philip East, Constance East, John East, Joseph East, Adelaide East, Olga East, Eileen Small, Philbert Cole, Vera Cole, Covella Cole, and Mary Cole. Mary Cole. None of my family's remains will return to Kingston. They are all buried in somewhere. Somewhere in Kendal lies 40 members of my family. So this is very, very personal to me. It might be personal to experience your disrespect, and every time I go somewhere, someone says, I should have been on the train, I was going to go, but this happened. But these people, whose names are were on the train, did not come home at night. We did not bury a body, a single body. So, I don't want to see photographs. I don't want to hear promises. I don't want to read information. I want to see groundbreaking somewhere where the monument is going to be.
True.
Even if the monument takes a period of time, I want
But
to
it is
see
started.
action.
Yes.
And people can sit here and say, for instance, we have one song. But I feel if you don't say what you want, you don't get it.
Sure. Amen.
So,
So,
if it means call of action from the community, us as individuals, to donate, to write a letter, to go stand on somebody's office, a petition, whatever it takes, then let's collectively do that. Apart from the monument being built, I think it's an opportunity for us that people see us not just as island with beaches and reggae music, which is great. They see us as athletes, which is great. But there are over 6 million train spotters across the world that will come to Jamaica to visit our site in terms of the railway connection that we had here in the 50s. So it is more than just a sentiment. And I'm a businesswoman, so it's an opportunity for global help in outbound tourism. My heart is heavy. I will stop. But I bless all the names that I haven't called, all the victims, that have not been mentioned that are on that map over there. They are all listed in my book. It is also important to remember that people that are surviving, the
Yes, I
families
will.
that are surviving.
I'm trying
My
to record this.
aunt, there has never been the 1st of September where she has not born. The pain is still here. The pain is still there. A couple of years ago, my cousin, Clark, came. I was made to come to the program that year, but he, his wife, and my aunties came. And when we were growing up, he was a tough, a big cousin, always working on me. And I heard him cry that day. His sister died that night. His mother, Sis, was the aunt that I grew up with in London. And when she heard her daughter had died, her aunts and uncles had died, she started smoking. I've never seen a black woman smoke. I've never seen a Catholic black woman smoke. I've never seen anybody in my family, female, smoke. And I would stare at her, and my mom would say, "Stop staring." But I didn't know why she was smoking. Earl is still alive. He was on the crash. He was the only survivor from our family that came home. I have such reverence for him. And my father, who lost all these 14 people, his mother, father, uncles, aunts, grandparents. I have such reverence for him. Because I grew up watching a man go to work every day, never making an excuse for the loss that he had. Every day, got up and went to work with 2 shifts, worked 6 days a week, and only Sunday he would stay home. So I close by saying, blessings to those who are with us, and blessings to those who are not. May those who we are honoring today, may they rest in eternal peace. They are gone, but never forgotten. Amen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Louise, for that sober reflection. And certainly we understand the pain that you are going through at this time, and especially with the promise of the monument. And we want to assure you that as a committee we have worked tirelessly to get the permission from the railroad operation as well as the Windalpa so that we can establish a monument. So it has been painstaking, but I can assure you, and I see you smiling because the dream is becoming a reality. And as the permanent secretary has said, and he's right here. And so I'm sure he's going to go back to his desk and make sure that next year we should start that monument. Groundbreaking. You believe that? I want to hear from you. Yes, it will happen. It will happen. And so we want to let you know that Mrs. Angela Edwards, our chairperson for the committee, has worked very hard with us, and indeed we are happy for where it has gone so far, and we
Reverend David Moon, post-pastor and master of ceremonies, dignitaries on the platform and in the church, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We at St. Anne's Church are very pleased that so many people intend to commemorate those of our church members who unfortunately passed away during this tragedy which took place here at Kendal. I am particularly pleased that the Manchester Municipal Corporation is spearheading this event. And it is to their credit because I only one person from Manchester perished in that train crash. Yet, the Manchester Municipal Corporation has taken such great interest in commemorating those who died. We at St. Anne's Church have felt this loss quite tremendously. Can you imagine going to church one Sunday with hundreds of people there, and the next Sunday you have 100 people less because they all died one time, one day, one spot? Can you imagine that? St. Anne's Church has been in that position. This train excursion was not a public train. It was not a scheduled passenger train by the JRC. It was a private train, hired for fundraising purposes by Father Ebel, as you heard. He was a great fundraiser, as Minister Barty Gray just said. This was not his first train excursion. The year before, he had a trip to Port Antonio, which was similarly well subscribed. The year before, there was an excursion to Another Bay. It was a beach trip. They went to Another Bay, they came off the train, had mass, had religious service in the Catholic Church of Another Bay, and then people went to the beach and eventually got back on the train and came back to Kingston. So this Father Evan had a track record of running these great excursions, which were very successful, were enjoyable, were spiritual occasions. And so when he announced his biggest trip ever, this time to Montego Bay, not only St. Anne's people, but people from a wider community, some not Catholics, some not members of our church. And that's why there were so many people who went. But Mr. Permanent Secretary, one story says indiscipline and one story says some decoupling. The two stories are not separate at all. It was the indiscipline that led to the decoupling. The people who I want to say, part of the excursion and rolled up and down the train and doing mischief and did the decoupling that, of course, you know, each individual had rates. But the signal to make the rates hold is carried by a cable that runs from the beginning of the train to the end. And it was that was decoupled. So when the driver in the front pressed the brake, the brakes didn't hold because it had been decoupled. And so the other thing you need to know, the people here in Kendal know that the Kendal railway station is the second highest railway station in Jamaica. You know that? You know, some like you know that. Kendal railway station is the second highest railway station. Which one is the highest?
Kingston.
Come you Manchester people. Customers are supposed to know which is the highest railway station in the parish. The one connected with Malgolly. But it's not called Malgolly, it has another name. Greenvale. I'm sorry? Greenvale, absolutely right. So the Greenvale railway station, just above Malgolly, comes up from Magnetic Silo, climbs up the hill to Balaclava, chugging with 12 coaches with overload. Then after there it goes to Oxford and eventually comes to here to Kendal, and then so it's going down, you know, because after Greenvale, it's going down. and then it's decoupled, and the brakes don't hold. And so the driver loses control, and the train derails. And so, and almost 200 people are killed. We at St. Anne's feel this quite severely. I know our family members feel it too. It's not only your tragedy, disease. It's not only the East family tragedy, it is Catholic Church tragedy as well. This morning we had a memorial service for those who died, and we also had about 8 of the survivors present. The service was conducted by the Archbishop of Kingston, Kennedy Church, and the parish priest for St. Anne's is here, Father Patrick, who's really Father Patrick is the president. And they were able to give their stories. One lady said how she was in car number 9 when the train braked and the decoupling took place. Car number 9 went and rolled on top of car the one ahead, which was car number 10. And she found herself looking down from the car. And she explained how she jumped down from what was 2 cars high down to the road. And left the others to come down. And of course it was in the night, so it was dark. Nobody could see what was going on. Another gentleman this morning at our memorial service, he said he was there with his fiancée, and he and his fiancée were on the train. And when the crash occurred, he explained how he was able to help his fiancée out of the train, and they were able to walk away to safety. His fiancée, of course, was also on the train. She was sitting right behind, beside him in the church. And he explained that shortly thereafter they got married, and they're celebrating 57 years of marriage. And so that's a story from the Kendal crash that needs to be made a little more well known. Yes, there was tragedy. He also was at the time not a Roman Catholic. His fiancée was, and he explained that shortly thereafter he offered himself for baptism and became a Roman Catholic. So there are people who were able to make something of their lives after, even though the memory of the great tragedy remains with them. And another person here. But I think, it would be good, Mr. Chairman, Representative Bob Mayor, that the proclamation that will be read, Minister Babsy tells us that it is not only a day of remembrance for those who died, but it is also to somehow remember those who survived. I thought I heard that in what was said. And so you need to try to have some of the survivors here, as we were able to this morning at St. Anne's Church, to share their stories with those who are left behind. You will appreciate that we are all very older. And if this accident occurred so many years, 67 years ago, these people are not young chickens anymore. And so we need to have their stories recorded before it's too late. Also, you say the young people are not here. It was very important for us at St. Anne's this morning to have our young people hear from these survivors what happened to their own church when it was so many years ago. And so we were pleased that our young people this morning at our church, St. Anne's Church, heard the history of our church from the mouths of those who survived. And I encourage you to, yes, get the young people here, but also get the people who can share with them firsthand what happened. We at St. Anne's somehow feel a little bit left out of all of this monument talk. minister. And maybe it's because that's the reason that I got a call recently inviting me to join the committee. So I'm very pleased that to be a member of the committee now, though I haven't been to a meeting yet. And I think that which will this event. But it would be nice, would it not, to have the event on the crash site, would it not? At the monument itself. And I hear that it's quite a few acres of land. So we should be able to design something. I haven't seen the design, so I don't know what it's like. All I've heard about is a base with nails. That's a good start. But it needs to be a place where people can come and assemble and have a function like this, where we can. I must tell you that on the 50th anniversary of the crash, I got together with my wife and I, and 5 or 6 of the survivors. And we drove out here to Kendal, we went on the hill, and we came with us, and so, and we placed the altar table right on the train track, and we celebrated the holy sacrifice of the Mass in memory of those who we were sure were buried somewhere around us. The celebrant at that Eucharist was Monsignor Kenneth again, who was one of the survivors. And that event was also videographed by another one of the survivors who came along for that 50th anniversary. And so we in the Catholic Church have always considered the commemoration of the Kendal crash to be of utmost importance. And we are pleased that the Manchester Municipal Corporation has now finally invited us to be a part of the planning for the monument, and I look forward to the invitation to my first meeting. As a final point, let me say that there is already a monument to the crash victims of the Kendal crash. The year after the crash, the governor of Jamaica, at the time, remember this is not independent Jamaica, this is Jamaica, the colony in 1957 and 1958. The governor of Jamaica erected a plaque at our church, at St. Anne's Church, in memory of the crash victims. Custos of Kingston was present, and a number of other dignitaries, the premier at the time. I have the photographs of that event, and the monument is still there for anyone to see. So, that there is a monument, but it is, I quite agree, culture and the efforts of the Manchester Municipal Corporation to erect such a monument, and we look forward, as does the East Standing, to not just groundbreaking, but to the construction of the monument, to a design that we hope that we would be input in, and for the celebration of the first time that the site is used as a commemoration of the Kendal. Can I thank the organizers of today for inviting me to give this reflection, and please be assured that we as a
Thank you very much. Indeed, your contribution this afternoon has been very important. You were with us last year, but you were able to share with us your side of the story, or St. Anne's side of the story. And so indeed, it has been a tremendous, very informative discourse that we have just well. And we will, as a committee, bear in mind that you are now part of the committee, and also that we will consider the committee having that thanks again. At this time, I'm going to invite Mrs. Maxine Craig